Hey everyone, and well, it's another month, another gaming vlog, and on top of this new shirt I've added to my collection, I have also noted a new Nintendo Direct is coming tomorrow morning. And it was a partner showcase I will be addressing after it streams. I also have there's a few pieces of news I'm going to be going over that are very much doozies, and that's even leaving out the High Guard drama, saving that for another video. Say, hey, the second full week after its launch, and which has been all over the place, all things considered. I will say now that if I was in Wildlight stead, I would have just done the stealth drop like with Apex, X, as opposed to the well intentioned but very divisive reveal that I kind of tuned out at the Game Awards. So let's get started and rip that band of all this news off first. So now, this was dropped up late last month as I was doing my other stuff, but as it turns out, Ubisoft has restructured again, and and even though their recent endeavors have not been enough to right the ship at all, all that's resulted in trying to reorganize their operations to a handful of creative houses, is and several projects have been cancelled, including the long suffering remake of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, which after being stopped and started twice has finally been annexed. I personally have not. I was not among those who believed it was just about ready to ship, given how little was shown, and what was shown was not particularly impressive. Even I, someone who actually admitted to liking the sequels to that game a lot better, War Within Two Thrones, owns would have liked to have seen if the final product would have turned out like, say, Warcraft 3 Forge or the Resident Evil 2 remake in quality. Now we're not getting a chance. And based on how the stocks have plummeted, the attempt to appease shareholders has backfired tremendously. I just hope that, in all fairness, that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is good, especially given how long that's been in development. And even with that, it's actually not even the only example of a developer doing something unsavory. Speaking of dev behavior that's a bit dodgy, we have the cancellation of Extra Creation, which, even as someone who was not actively following the development of that game, and only just became recently aware of the less than savory background of the people in charge of it, that I will have to admit. I would advise you to go check out Kira and Josh Strife Hayes' coverage of it thus far. They do get into a lot of the dealings about the game itself, as well as the mindset that convinced so many people to invest in it. It's all I could say definitively right now that even as someone who's typically does not want to be on the record too much with developing stories, it is certainly going to get worse before it gets better. Count on that. Okay, so in the last bit of weird news, who's before I get into what I'm playing, which I'm currently enjoying a lot more, it seems the Switch family ports of the highly acclaimed adventure title Dispatch from Ad Hoc, which made a lot of people who used to work at both Supermassive and Telltale, has been hit with censorship on those ports for their more risque elements, and even if the PC, Xbox, and PlayStation versions are are currently uncensored, and for their part, both the manufacturer and Ad Hoc have apologized for the matter, and as someone who's old enough to remember the changes they made to the SNES port Wolfenstein 3D, a up to and including replacing the Dobermans with rodents of unusual size, I personally would have just made it a toggle in the options menu like other games have. If so, since to let the player choose what they want to see or not, I mean, it's no different than some of my ones where you can and choose whether or not you want to see either those bits or the degree of gore you want to see. Heck, Talking someone really likes the Super Happy Fun Time mode in Serious Sam HD trilogy, where you can replace the blood with flowers and the jibs with vegetables. And with that in mind, let's pivot to what I'm currently playing. So, with the Switch 2, who having been in my hands for nearly a full month, I am still very much loving the system. On top of my current collection, and from my base console, I have been really enjoying building hotel rooms in Animal Crossing New Horizons recent update. I definitely am counting animals used to live on my island when I started playing almost 6 years ago. Oh, that have come to stay, as well as ones I recognized from the original game on GameCube, which, yeah, it's another one celebrating a milestone this year, 25 years when you factor in the original Japanese version. Animal Forest, which is their best franchise of Dobutsu no Mori, and on speaking of which, Pokemon ZA, I caught Groudon in a Mega in the Mega Dimension expansion. I'm also still stacking resources to take on Kyogre next building, especially to bait the next donut I need. As well as climbing the ranks the online Zero Royale. How I made rank G in the last season. Even someone's already got like the Swampert Megastone. I am quite eager to get to get a higher rank than I did last time. I am because that's ultimately what I determined from what I experienced in the base game, at single player campaign. And I don't shoot for a rank right away. I try at least play enough to qualify to the Mega Stones, and also to get the hit the hit my ranks up as I go. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, I'm still exploring Vuros and upgrading my gear here, and I won't worry too much that they haven't tabulated the units yet, because as the new reports are still coming in and they might not have enough data to work with. I also managed to finally get the House of the Dead remake for only $2.49, a sizable discount from list price. And even though it's not the best remake I've ever played, it's definitely not a bad going rate or bad remake. It definitely managed to capture like all the cheese that made the original arcade version and its early ports so memorable. Well, I still maintain for the reboot that Sega's working on for the movies. That's things that I would still want Jason Statham as Agent G. I would have to think about what actor I'd want to play Thomas Rogan, and which one I want to play Dr. Kyrian personally. I also which also crosses over with some news that's transfer my stuff over to like the Switch 2 port of Apex Legends, since they're sunsetting the port on the base Switch. It's actually fine by me because it wasn't Panic Button's best work, and even though it's been a while since I tried it, it's like a whole new meta, basically an entirely different game from when I tried it last, and it's certainly a a one that has managed to find its audience. And I can tell some of that same DNA is in higher in terms of gameplay, though it lacks the personality Apex has, as well as the fact that Apex in the same fictional universe as Titanfall. I mean, also with that in mind, I'm also going through more Wind Waker for my 450 subscriber special. I've got the outline line for that more or less filled in. I'm definitely trying for like a 2 week turnaround on that one, on but I can't promise anything. I can promise, however, I'll also be eager to tell you what I'm also playing on the Sony front. So let's go. All right, so a new month means a whole new bevy of tales on PS Plus. I definitely the one I'm playing the most is Ace Combat 7: Skies Unknown. It's the first time in a while since I played that, and it's every bit as good as I remember it. And I think this is one of the few ones that might have like the PS4 Pro mode turned on by default for those kind of enhancements, giving like a boost in frame rate and resolution. The other ones I have not tried, but I'm willing to. Ultros, Subnautica Below Zero, and the a boxing sim Undisputed. So whenever you feel like doing your own little impromptu boxing match, I played a fair amount of ones where they're simulation based and arcade based, tend to be more the former. I am indeed getting further and further in Spider-Man 2, and especially, I did indeed get enough progress and bits to unlock the Black Femi suit, and I can already hear like the ominous fanfare in my head as I'm taking on the various those criminals and undealing supervillains in the city. A Let's just say that what I found out about Sergei Kravenov is a bit more revealing and surprising than and Sony deciding to pull back from the SSU after his movie ended up like a bit of a critical commercial flop, though an admittedly entertaining one at that. That's mean. Granted, enough of the reasons that the cast and crew intended it, but they definitely what I consider to be fun, bad movies, as opposed to like a documentary about the first lady. It's like the semicolon of watching paint dry for an hour 40 minutes. And I also can say that I'm gonna be logging back into Tekken 8 with a new season and starting my proxy 8-3 new characters. And one thing I am really liking with the discourse that they're making even ones I'm not huge fans of fun to play with, including Bob, who is definitely a big boy as ever, and also definitely still practice. I'm still practicing much I can with the roster on the base disc before I even opt into getting Heihachi, who was easily the worst kept secret of this game, and given how they found him in a data mine fairly early on me. And I'm also definitely looking forward to Resident Evil 9 Requiem this month. There'll likely be a demo before the full game drops. The question is in my head is less if rather when that will happen. And personally, on top of Leon's missions being a bit more intense, which I expect against the more experienced character who's seen things in previous games, even the much maligned sixth installment, and where they try to take a slope and horror to write college coattails when about what you expect. It's but also in Gray's storyline, like how each of the recent titles has gone a different well of horror. I can already tell the strains of like David Fincher's various thrillers in this game, especially Seven and Zodiac, both films like I said, excellent but really intense for really obvious reasons. And I also am looking forward to what they might announce for there's a Tomb Raider, or they're also going to be State of Play soon. I'd be open to like a release date for or the Legacy of Atlantis, which is like the second full remake of the original game. Um, and I'm personally not too worried about how the Prime series, at any rate. I mean, if I heard one clickbait grifter get huffy over a change, means I heard them all. Same deal like with the nameplate in the Master Universe reboot, which was clearly a joke to most sane people, and people who are commenting on it as acting if it's going to ruin the whole movie. When they've got the VFX to do all these fantastic Eternian creatures and allies, is clearly not the case. Okay, that'll be all I have to say for now. Oh, and I will see you after the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase streams tomorrow morning. So I'll see you all again soon. So take care, everyone.